thing is, so this tailors into something really nice. So Ken Buck, who we just saw, the Tea Party nutbag, he's from the 4th District in Colorado, which is a very, very red, very rural kind of district. Now, if you remember, he was retiring, so there was a primary there. The woman who's the representative for the 3rd District is Lauren Boebert. And Lauren Boebert was going to get her ass kicked in the 3rd District. So she decided to move to the 4th District, Ken Buck's district, to run against him.
Right, she carpetbagged.
Right. But now that he's left now, they're going to have to hold a primary over the next few months to try and find somebody to temporarily fill his seat. And it's going to take 2 or 3 months. For her to run in that primary, she's got to quit her job now to run in that primary, which she's decided not to do. But we're going to jump into her because it really fucked her. Because now somebody's going to win the primary, and they're going to be put in that seat, and then she's going to have to run against that person who's already been in that seat. And she was already losing in their primary. So it's really screwed her.
It already didn't look good for her, and now it got worse.
Oh yeah.
And it did not seem, again, I stand by my it just keeps getting weirder statement. It really just keeps getting weirder, because I really didn't think it could get worse for her in that situation. You know? I really thought she really already kind of had it about as bad as she could get it, and now it actually got worse.
Yep.
It literally did. I didn't even think it was possible.
Well, and she's already hated in Colorado. So here is, we're going to the Midas Touch. Here's a local reporter talking about her in Colorado. There's one of the more watched channels, or one of the more watched broadcasts in the 4th District for news reporting. And this is his sort of take on it. It's funny, but this is the Midas Touch covering it.
Mm. The exact opposite of what Americans need right now. This is just another con game by the Democrats, calling something one thing and saying another.
Republican Congressman Lauren Boebert is once again taking credit for federal funding for Colorado projects that Boebert actually voted against. Boebert's office sent out a news release bragging about her role in securing funding for projects like highway safety improvements and water reservoir construction in southern Colorado. Boebert is one of 40 Republicans who obtained earmarks and then voted against the bill.
No, are you telling me the same congresswoman who abandoned her constituents at the drop of a hat and switched districts to try and remain relevant?
Today, I am announcing my candidacy for the 2024 Republican nomination to represent Colorado's 4th Congressional District. This is the right move for Colorado, for us.
So, what is with Republican women in filming from their kitchens? Is that just me? That just seems weird.
Oh my God, I didn't even...
I just got that.
Stop and think about that. Because apparently this is how you appeal to women, is you film in your kitchen? Or is that how you appeal to men? Because then do you water down that you're a powerful woman in Congress by filming in a kitchen? Like, you don't want to look too businessy or official. Otherwise, like, men might not vote for you.
Yeah, this is like...
I mean, I'm kind of guessing.
Yeah, but this is like that weird shit. Like you used to see that in the 80s and stuff in the movies, but it was real. And my mother went through this where, like, you'd have a woman, she'd be like the VP in charge of everything, and she'd be doing a meeting, and one of the guys who's lower on the totem pole than her would be like, "Hey, can you get me a cup of coffee?" I mean, women had to put up with that shit. And it was bad, sexism and all that, but it's like, man, why are you we want them to appeal to women, but we also want them to be docile and sitting in the kitchen, barefoot and making babies, with no abortion rights, preferably men, preferably male children.
Oh God, everything that's coming out of your mouth sounds like ass right now, but it might be what they're thinking. That really scares me.
I think that's what they're thinking. So, oh my God. So yeah, God, she's just so fucked. But that was the other thing that I loved. That she did a whole press release about how she secured $20 million but it was part of the Infrastructure Act that Biden passed that she voted against. And she's not the only Republican. Marjorie Taylor Greene's done this. They've all done this, where it's like, we all voted against it, but once the money came in, we took credit for it because we want to get reelected. So they lied. And all the local news stations have been calling them out on it, going, wait a minute, you voted for us not to get this money or these jobs.
Right.
And now you're saying you're taking credit for it? Fuck you. I mean, but that's what, yeah, but that guy's been calling her out.
It's like, it's where you almost have to pay attention, to really what people are saying. Like, are you taking credit for it because, like, oh yeah, while I was in, this thing happened,
right? Trying
to make it look like you had something to do with it. Well, while you were in, that thing happened. No thanks to you,
right?
And so it's one of those things where I think it's a little rough for us voters, because we really, we're not even fully falling asleep at the wheel, but it's like we have to dissect, like, I'm an English teacher, people. I'm an English teacher. This is where sentence diagramming actually seems to count. Hold on, diagram the sentence. Actually, it did happen while she was in. Mm-hmm. She just had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Right. Absolutely nothing.
In spite of her.
I want to jump to this other clip though real quick. So same reporter, I don't know his name, but the same reporter with Kyle Clark is his name, with Next in Colorado. But he's going to report on her again. He does not like her. He's been digging on her. But he's reporting about, so Ken Buck left the seat. She's got to either quit her job and run for Ken Buck's seat, or she's got to stay in her seat and then try and run against whoever, which she might not have a chance to do.
Whoever already won a vote.
Yeah.
Republican Representative Lauren Boebert is mad. She thinks Congressman Ken Buck is quitting Congress early next week just to block her effort to replace him. She might be right. So Boebert says now that she is not going to seek the special election nomination to replace Buck for the rest of the year. Here's the deal. She wasn't likely to get that because it's going to be decided by party insiders who have a dim view of Boebert's decision to switch districts to try and stay in Congress. So now Boebert's challenge is to win the GOP primary on the same day that some other Republican's going to win the special election. Both races are on June 25th. Confusing, right? Many voters may just want to pick one GOP candidate. Well, now you get it. Buck setting up two elections on the same day makes it harder for Boebert to win.
Ken Buck's announcement yesterday was a gift to the Uniparty. The establishment concocted a swampy backroom deal to try to rig an election. This will confuse voters.
I had to add the sad music. Ken Buck fucked me. You know what's funny though? He kind of did, but at the same time, honey, you were already fucked. Let's not gild the lily here. You weren't getting it anyway. She was running at like 5th in the primary out of 9. And she's already a sitting House representative. They can't stand her. Plus the Beetlejuice thing where she's grabbing the guy's crotch and he's feeling her up and all kinds of shit. I mean,
those conservative values.
Well, she's just so fake and backwards. I want to show you this though real quick since we're making fun of her. We might as well pile on for a minute. We got a couple minutes to spare.
We're gonna just pile on her. Is that what's happening? This is like a
might as well. She's not going to be around next year. We might as well get in our licks while we can.
You know what? Okay, hold on. For all the Republicans who watch us, please, I beg you, elect some funny people for us.
Yeah. Please.
Because we need to have funny people to talk about. And she's clearly not coming back. So find us a funny replacement, please.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we still maybe Katie Britt will come out for us, who did the State of the Union response. Maybe she'll do some more stuff and some more lies. Maybe Nancy Mace will get some more TV time. Yeah. They don't have a shortage of crazy.
They do not have a shortage of funny people.
They do not. So I'm not too bitter about it. But here's Luke Beasley. I like him. If you guys haven't seen him, you should check him out. But he's doing this. He pulled out this old video of Lauren Boebert before she was in Congress, of her on the news when she owned the restaurants that went under, partly because of she gave everybody explosive diarrhea because of undercooked food.
I'm sorry, this guy has this sort of like Bieber-esque quality to me. Somehow I'm looking at him and I'm getting Bieber vibes.
Yeah, here he is. No, he's
which is neither here nor there to me, but I just had to point it out.
Yeah, he's young. He's a smart kid, though. Watch this. This is funny.
On this CNN interview, is waitresses openly armed at Shooter's Grill. And take a look at this. Then I have a larger point that I want to make about this subject. And while you're watching the clip, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I know that on your wall there, you have copies of the Declaration of Independence, you have copies of the Bill of Rights. Is the sign that reads to those sitting inside that they are proudly clinging to my guns and Bible? Let me pause and play our viewers something.
Hey.
It's Obama.
You know, this time of year, we all keep getting pinged with political fundraising asks.
All right. Well, the 3, 2, 1.
People want like that for anti-immigrant sentiment or anti-trade sentiment. And they explain their frustrations.
I don't know if you could hear that, Lauren. That was then Senator Obama back in 2008, campaigning, comment caught off mic, talking about people in rural areas, clinging to their guns and religion. And so I just have to ask.
Okay. So, this is her at her former restaurant Shooters, where all the waitresses had guns. That was the theme. It was like Hooters with guns. And a bunch of crosses.
Okay.
All right, yeah. And I love the cross. So you gotta hang onto our Bible and our guns. And I'm like, you mean like all the pictures of ISIS people when they held onto their Quran and their AK-47s? Those photos? So you're American ISIS, essentially. So here it is. She's on CNN. Here's Obama, current president at the time, the first black president, making a comment about, hey, all these, you can see where these right-wing, white, rural, non-college educated people, they cling to their Bibles and their guns. You can see what they do because they don't understand. Right? He caught on a hot mic saying that. Lauren Boebert, what do you think her response is going to be? This is before she's in Congress. Perfect time to take a shot at Obama. Does she do it? The answer will surprise you.
She doesn't?
No.
Ask, is the sign in your restaurant a direct jab at Obama?
No, I would never do anything to disrespect my president. I believe that it is an office that is in place by God, and I would never say anything to disrespect him. I didn't know that comment was even made. I actually picked up the sign just at a local store.
Okay.
No, actually, I stand corrected. A friend of mine bought that for me, and I thought it was fitting.
So in that interview, again, stunning given what we know about Lauren Boebert.
Tell me you're not shocked. So she was a normal, regular kind of person. I don't care. The president, I support the president, whoever the president is, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when Trump was in office, we wanted him to succeed. We wanted him to do good things. We didn't want him to fail because it affects us.
Yeah.
But
I was not happy, and I was very freaked out when he got elected. But I wanted him to be not as bad as I thought he'd be. I was kind of hoping for a pleasant surprise. I think you kind of always are, right?
Yeah.
Like you're hoping it'll be not as bad.
Yeah, and he ended up being way worse than we thought he would be.
Way worse.
Bull in a china shop. Anyway, skip forward to today. Now that she's got all these donors and all the money coming in, She's now, but this just shows you how full of shit she is. She doesn't have any principles. It's whatever she thinks is going to make her the most money or get her the most, airtime or whatever. This was the Biden impeachment inquiry, which was total bullshit. She knew it was bullshit. This is her at that hearing not too long ago.
Executive office fall in terms of what justifies an impeachment inquiry and what is deemed an impeachable offense?
Well, it's two separate questions. What I've suggested is for the four areas for articles of impeachment that you can explore, you can look at some of the criminal code, and that includes things like bribery under 201, Hobbs, the Hobbs Act cases, and those have different standards that I think are relevant. In terms of the impeachable standard itself, there's been obviously decades of debate about that. I would hope that there would be general agreement that public corruption, if the president engaged,
selling any access,
right? If
yes.
if he engaged in public corruption involving
any sort of peddling of influence. Now, as a follow-up, in previous impeachment inquiries, have actions such as influence peddling and pay-to-play schemes like this been deemed as offensive to the conscience of the American people in such a way to warrant an investigation?
Well, I think that there's certainly a basis for this inquiry to go forward. There's, my position is simply that this is early on in an inquiry in terms of linking these, which are still just allegations, to the president, and that's the linkage you have to establish.
Thank you, Mr. Turley. It is far time for Joe Biden to stop lying to the American people about his shady foreign business deals. He intentionally misled the American people by using complex maneuvers to pocket millions of dollars from our adversary. He lied when he was vice president. He lied as a candidate to gain the office of President of the United States. Now this committee has uncovered the truth, and it is.
Are you a sort of regular moderate person with a job? Do you want to be a right-wing nut job? Look into corporate money. Right-wing politics money. Side with Ted Cruz. Have him get you into office. She went from, no, the president is a position appointed by God. I'd never go against the president. I don't agree with that statement, but that's what she was saying. To the guys saying, look, right now, this is just allegations. We don't even have anything. To her going, response being, he lied, he did it, he's a criminal, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't have any evidence. So I would never denigrate the president, to now I'm making shit up about the president to try and denigrate him. I'm defaming him publicly. Do you see how fucking far she's fallen? I mean, it's amazing. But that's her, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder honestly what people who have known her for years think.
Yeah, I wonder too. I mean,
wouldn't that just be super curious? Somebody who's like lived in a community with her or whatever, maybe not a friend, but not an enemy, just like somebody who just has known her a long time, would probably be very curious to hear what they'd have to say.
Yeah, I think with her and a lot of them, I don't know how much they actually believe all this shit, or if it's just a job and they're just playing to the crowd so they can have their money and their position and get their base and their supporters and their, and a lot of these, like, Republicans, like Ken Buck, they don't take that job because they really give a shit. They take that job because they're looking to get more money and more support, and then they're hoping to get that big, cushy job when they leave, which is what Ken Buck is doing, which is what Gallagher's probably doing. Mm-hmm. They're going to get that multi-million-dollar job. So
right.
They're not in it because they care, or they have politics, or they give a shit. They're in it for the money. It's like we joke about this, like, if we were doing this show and we wanted to really make money, we would just start spewing right-wing shit. We just don't believe any of it, but it doesn't mean we couldn't lie. We could sit here and do that. Because there's no money on the left. There's a shit ton of money on the right to sit up here and lie and bullshit. We could sit here and say, oh, yeah, vaccines are bad, the election was rigged. We could say all that and probably make more money. We'd probably get sponsors easier. But we're not going to do it. But I think that's what it is. I don't think she has any principles. I think she's just selling out. And I think that's why she moved to the 4th District. What's going to be the easiest way for me to hold my seat and make my money? So, Yeah, we'll see. I think she's gone. I think it's over. So, we'll see. Goodbye to her. Well,